and different apps within Google that go along with it. So I'm going to start and just give you kind of an overview. If you see something that you're like, oh, that's pretty cool, I have more questions about it, throw it in the chat and we can answer questions as we go. If it's a little more involved, then wait until afterwards and shoot me an email and I would be glad to help you with any of this, obviously. Let me just make sure that I heard something come through. All right, Kira's here. Who else just joined? All right, I'll check back on the attendance in a little bit. So Google Classroom, here we go. I'm in my Google Classroom, and this Google Classroom is just my practice Google Classroom. So what I did is I went through the top things that I use in Google Classroom, and I was just going to show you guys some stuff. So we'll start with Google Docs, right? Google Docs, easy. It's your word processing. If you're familiar with Microsoft Word, if that's what you've used before, that's great. So basically with Google Docs, you're giving the kids something to write on. So let's look at how to make some assignments with Google Docs really quick. So what I have here is I'm going to have the kids read and answer some questions. I'm going to put the reading right on the Google Doc. I am going to do some questions right in there as well. And I just kind of threw this together last night. I took this from a PDF that I had, and you can see here, this is an image, this reading. I did a screenshot, and I just screenshot that right in. I made a table. We go here, insert table. I made a table, I did some merges, and then I literally screenshot the questions. So the kids can't change the wording or whatever, right? And then of course, because it's me, I threw my Bitmoji at the bottom. Got to keep them smiling, right? So I wanted the kids to read and answer this. So as I'm doing it, I'm giving them instructions. Here we go. Now here's the kicker. This is a thing that people ask me about all the time. They want to know, how do I add it so then the kids could write right on it? I'm going to go into add. I'm using from my Google Drive. I found it right here because I just recently opened it, and I hit add. Now when I add this, it gives me an opportunity right here to decide what I want to do with it. I can have the kids just view the file. And if you've ever seen that before, that means that they cannot type on it. They have to go into the file. If you want them to type on it, they're going to have to go like this, into File, Make a Copy. That will make a copy for them, and they can type on that one. Sounds good. The only issue with that is once you assign it, the kids have to then go into their Google Drive and attach it to their assignment. This one right here is make a copy for each student. That's the one that automatically makes a copy of whatever I have, and it automatically names it for them. So this one is called Shark Reading Passage from PDF. It would automatically name it if I was a student, Lancy Collins, Shark Reading Passage from PDF. So there's no losing it in Drive because it's an untitled document. It's automatically saved there, and it's automatically saved in your Google Drive, in your classwork folder. And finally, this one right here, students can edit file. Now, I don't usually allow my kids to edit stuff because it's usually my originals. The thing I usually do is give them access to their own copies. But you would use this if you were working with small groups. And since we're continuing the home learning, you may want to start working with small groups with kids. So let's say you put in here a Google Doc and the kids are going to work on it together. You can click on this All Students, uncheck the top box, unchecks it, and you can just assign it to certain students. I only have 2 kids in this classroom because it's my children and I can mess with them. But if I had more, I could go through and click. It's only going to assign to the students I actually shared it with. All right, does that make sense? So you can do that. I'll show you with Google Slides later on. That's a good one to work on with like a small group presentation. So for now, I'm going to go to make a copy for each student. I'm going to leave it ungraded. Actually, I'm going to do, it's worth 3 points because everything now is on that scale. 3 points. I'll give it a due date. I want it done by the 14th. And topic is today. And then I'm going to assign it, all right? Now, I heard a question come through, so I'm going to stop really quick while that's assigning. I want to come back. If you make a copy for each student, yes, so if you make a copy for each student, they can then type on it. And Megan, I also saw that Math Type, which is a Chrome extension and an add-on for Google Docs, is now available for teachers and students. So you can use that to type in different equations and such. And I'm going to email you about that later today. All right, so I want to show you one more thing with the Google Doc, all right? Let's say you have a reoccurring assignment. I'm not even going to do that. All right, let's say I have something called a reading journal, all right? So I'm going to show you really quick. Let me exit out of my shark. I'm going to slowly close my tabs, and hopefully that keeps us moving. So I threw this together this morning. This is my weekly reading journal. My idea is every Monday, I'm going to assign this to the kids, and on Friday, it's due. So I want them to read every day something. It could be for 10, 15 minutes. I want them to tell me what they read. I want them to tell me what it was called, and then just tell me something about it. So this is going to be the same exact thing every Monday. It's going to drop. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my Google Drive, and I have my reading journal. Here it is, weekly reading journal. Now I'm going to have a copy for each student, and then I'm going to assign it. All right. Oh, here, I'm going to make a new create topic, reading journal. It's going to be ungraded. It's going to go to all kids. All right. Great. Assignment. It's assigned. It'll pop up immediately on their Google Classroom. Now, oh, I guess I said I was going to make it Friday. Hold on. I'm going to edit it. Edit. This one is due today at midnight. That's right, kids. Read it up. Now, I know I'm going to drop another one on Monday. So what I can do is I can go to assignment, because I know it's going to be the same exact thing. Let's see, today is the, I don't even know what date it is. Today's the 9th. So I want this to drop on Monday. I know it's going to be due on Friday. Here it is. I'm going to, again, make a copy for each student. And I'm going to make this one due next Friday. Now, instead of assigning it, because if I assign it right now, it's going to show up in their stream, and I don't want them to get confused. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go up here to this little drop down next to assign, and I'm going to schedule it, which means I don't have to think about it. It's going to drop on Monday at 8 a.m. Schedule. So once I hit that, that's scheduled. And you can see here, oh, I don't know if anybody can see what I did wrong there. I didn't put it under my topic of reading journals. Got to keep things organized. There we go. Just a couple clicks, get it right back in there. So now it's scheduled to drop on Monday. If you're giving the same thing each week, a journal, a notebook that's going to be the same, the kids fill it out, you could take some time, one day ahead of time, and have it scheduled so they drop each week. You can have the due dates out, and that way that's one less thing that you need to worry about, all right? So that's just some stuff with Google Docs, using that. Does anyone have any questions about using Google Docs? Nancy said, when you give a grade out of 3, does it automatically score, or do they get 3 points for turning it in? It doesn't automatically score in Google Docs. I'm going to show you how to do the automatic scoring in Forms, which is next. So if you want things to automatically score, let's say you're in your Google Classroom, and you can see right here, I organized mine by this week, right? So I have different things This is an assignment. You can tell by looking at the icons. This is a question, and you can click on it. You could see the kids both turned it in. They went in. You could view the question. This is a material. I just gave them a video to watch. So let's look at this. Complete this quiz. Both of them turned it in. If you want to automatically have it graded, so you can see right here, they're both turned in. What you need to do is you need to make a form, and you need to make sure that, this is the kicker, make it a quiz. All right? So I saved this as a quiz. What you're going to do is, I'll come back to this one. So this is the one that they've already done. So now I'm going to post it, just like you regularly would as an assignment. You can use quiz assignment, but if you already have the form made, you don't want to do that. So I know my quiz that I made is worth 20 points. It says it right here because when I made the quiz, I attached each one to points, okay? So I'm going to make it, it's worth 20. I'm going to put it under a topic. Sure. I'm going to make it due tomorrow. And then all you need to do is you're going to go to add, and you're going to add the form just like you would a Google Doc. Now, because you're using Google Forms and this is Google Classroom, they're smart enough to work together. So it automatically knows, because I made this a quiz, it automatically knows the quiz, and I have this clicked on right here, grade importing. It automatically clicks it. Now, it's there, it's done. It'll show the kids, when they get to this page, it's not gonna show them this because they're not a collaborator. They can't go to the editing page. What they will see is the actual quiz, all right? So there's the actual quiz. You could put it in lock mode on Chromebook. I don't know if I would at this point because if the kids, it gets messy sometimes. If you're doing it in class, it's a great option because then you can't monitor everyone at once. You're going to do it for all students, do tomorrow, and I'm going to assign it. Now, oops, there it is, quiz on mounds. So let's look at this quiz that I already had my kids take. You can see 2 of them turned it in. They both have turned it in. Mir is automatically graded. Lucian's did not because I need to click import grades. Once I do that, it automatically updates here. You can see it automatically graded him. And it automatically updates in my grade book. Now, the quiz I shared was a multiple choice quiz. So I was able to give exact numbers and I knew what the answers would be. If you add a question that is not multiple choice, so for example, this is an exit ticket. It's short and long answer text. You cannot automatically have grades import. Well, I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. You can, but when you give the answer key, it needs to be written, when the kids write it, exactly the way you wrote it. That includes caps, that includes spaces, that includes spelling. So the short answer, that sort of thing, gets a little hairy when you're doing the import grading. So the easiest way to do it, though, is just have it multiple choice. The kids can go through. You can go in there. Let's see if I have another quiz in here you can see. Once they've done it, all you have to do is hit that. I guess I don't. So once it's complete, it'll say turned in. All you do is hit the import grades button. It'll automatically update all of their grades on the side. All right. Does that answer your question, Nancy? Oh, Michelle, that's a good question. How do you do a screenshot from the Chromebook? Screenshots on the Chromebook, you are going to hit Control, Shift, and then the multiple windows button. And if you don't know which one that is, it's right above the 6. It's a rectangle. It has 2 other lines next to it. So watch, I'm going to do it right now. Control and Shift, rectangle. My screen gets dark. I'm going to drag here. There it is. Copy to clipboard. And then you could paste it wherever. I guess I could paste it. I do it in a Google Doc sometimes, but I don't know if it'll let me paste here. Paste. No, that's not letting me do it, but that's how you would do it. And then Nancy has a good question. Should we be deleting this? Once the screenshot's used, right, it automatically saves into your Google Drive. It's up to you if you want to delete it or not. We have unlimited storage. If it's starting to muck up your Google Drive like it does to mine, I literally take some time once a week and I type in the word screenshot at the top, and then I just copy them all and I just delete them all. I haven't had an issue where it doesn't exist anymore, because once you copy and paste it into a doc or into something like that, it's there. If you're using it from Drive and saving it and sharing it that way, then it would get mucky. But for most of the time, if you're just copying and pasting, you can delete the screenshot. And then Nancy asked a good question. What's your opinion? Is it best to have deadlines for assignments at elementary level so we know if it's turned in late? I know for a fact that the kids aren't being penalized they're not being penalized for turning in late work, but it would be nice for you to be able to tell who has turned in what. So for example, here, I'm going to log in as my daughter for a second because she is in 2nd grade and they're using Google Classroom. So in her Google Classroom, you can see she has mine here, poor kid, and then here's her class. If she clicks on these 3 bars and clicks on to do, it gives her the list of things that she needs to do. And she can even choose to just look at her class, her 2nd grade class, and not mine that I keep doing. So you can see here, she hasn't done some stuff, or she did it and just didn't hit the turn in button. I can click here and hit done. It's up to you. I would just, Nancy, if you're going to, and anybody, if you're going to give it due dates, I would at least be clear with the parents and say, you know, we're not penalizing for late work, but we're trying to give you deadlines so you can keep up on it. Because I wouldn't want a kid waiting until, you know, the 2nd week of May to do 500 assignments, and then the parents being like, why are you giving them all this work all of a sudden? So they can still do it, right? All right, so I'm going to go back over here. I'm going to log out of Mira. All right. So that was Google Forms. And if you missed my Google Forms training yesterday, I did post a video of it on the classrooms for each building. So that's Forms. Again, Forms is great if you want to do like a quick check-in, does the automatic grading with the multiple choice or short answer. But again, you have to be wary of that. And yeah. All right, so next, I'm going to move on to Google Slides. I wanted to show you a couple different things that I've done with slides. This is if it loads, this is an example of something I've done with Google Slides. When I taught math, I had the kids, I shared it like this, and you can, again, make a copy for each student. So they each were able to manipulate these. And I literally just found a picture of $1. I screenshot it, Control Shift with the little multiple arrows button. And then I just did, I copied it and then I pasted it, Control V, like a ton of times. So if you look here, there's just a bunch of $1 bills. So I did that. And then the same with the coins, right? So the kids can manipulate it. And then when they're done, they can just turn it in. I'm going to show you how I did these, so the kids couldn't change them, because I did have a point where some of the kids, I was just doing boxes with text boxes, but then I had kids who were trying to change the money so it matched what they had. And I was like, what is happening? The other thing you want to be aware of is if you put the money on here first and then put this on second, This, the boxes, will be in front. The money would like drop behind it. So you just want to make sure if you right click on this, you use order. You can see my boxes are in the back. So right now it says bring the front, bring the back. So if I was to click on this, order, and I could hit send it back, now it's going to fall behind that, and I don't want that. So just make sure, right click, 2-finger tap. However you're layering it, you want to do that. So again, this is just something I shared with my math students. This is a review activity. So I'm going to show you one more time here. Create. I did it as an assignment. Add it. And here it is. Make a copy for each student. I can give it a due date or not. Put it here. Three points under the topic. Well, no, not materials. All right. And let's say I want this to drop on Wednesday of next week. So I can schedule it. I'll just show you the scheduling again. I'll pick Wednesday of next week, and it's scheduled. So there it is. I can see it right here, coin sort. Now, some people have asked me, what's the difference? Why do I post things as an assignment? If you post something as a material, for the most part, I use two things. I use assignment and I use material. Assignment allows me to give the kids something I want them to hand back in. If I am just giving them something that I don't want them to have to like turn in, but to use, I use material. So, for example, under materials, you'll see I put just a reference page using Google Classroom with parents. So I have this Google slide presentation I made that I shared. Nobody needs to hand it in. Nobody needs to do anything like that. It's just for people to access and look at, right? So that's the difference between using a material and an assignment. Again, if you want to make a quiz right in there, you can, quiz assignments. If you want to use the question, it just gives a question to the kids. That's a good, quick, formative assessment. You can choose to do short answer, or you can do multiple choice. You can have the kids be able to see the answers afterwards. So if you ask a question, hold on 1 second. I'll log in as Lucian this time. Maybe. So just to show you what it looks like on my side, the other day I put a question, how's it going? And the question looked like this. When I made it, it was multiple choice. How's it going? And they were to pick one. All right. Good, great, wonderful, meh. I allowed the kids to be able to see the classroom answers. So if he was to log in, how's it going? He clicks here, view question. Now he can see his answer, but he can also see his sister's answer, even though it doesn't say who it is. So if you have a bunch of kids who answer, it shows you a nice little graph on what people were thinking, and that gives you kind of a formative assessment, also something that kids can see and like with each other. So it's kind of a cool one, the question. Just a different option instead of using forms. All right. Let me get back to where I was. All right, so that is using a Google slide to make it a manipulative, all right? Another one I have here that I made, drag to label. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go into Google Drawings next, and I'm going to show you how to make a background and how to have kids drag and drop. You can see here I did this with Google Drawings, and the kids can drag it. Again, you can make a copy for things. It's the same as any other Google app. They would drag and match, but you can see here when I click on these squares, they move. So I'm going to show you how to make it so they can't move those squares and in the background. But before I do that, I want to show you one more thing with Google Forms, or I'm sorry, Google Slides. I've had people ask me this before. They want to know how to share the slides, not so they're manipulative, but just so they are, just so it comes in presentation mode, right? So if you want to share something in presentation mode, you don't want people to see all the stuff on the side over here. They don't need to see that. You just want them to see the slides. Let me show you a little trick really quick, because it's easier to show you than explain it. Oh, here we go, slowly working. So once it loads, eventually, what you're going to do is you are going to copy the URL or the address. Let's try this again. You're going to copy the URL, the address, and it's a long, crazy address, right? All right. Are you working? Let's see if I can just do it on this one. So this one doesn't have anything on it. Let me just throw something in here. So do some word art. There it is. It's lovely. Okay. Hello and goodbye, right? Looks great. Get out of here. So if I want to share this and I don't want people to be able to manipulate it or anything like that, instead of doing a view only, I clicked up here and I went all the way to the end of the URL. I clicked the right button. So now you can see I'm all the way at the end. If I click that button, you can see it. What I'm going to do is I am going to look back and see where I can see the word edit. I am going to delete all the way until I see the word edit. Delete that. And now I'm going to write the word present. Now I'm going to highlight that. And what I did is Control, Shift, and up. It highlights the whole thing. I'm going to copy it. Now when I paste that into a URL or share it as a link, whatever, it only shares in presentation mode. So if you have a, hello, see, I cannot manipulate it. I can't do anything. And goodbye. But that's just a little trick on how to share a Google slideshow as a presentation. If you have like a video you want the kids to watch, but sometimes videos don't play in Google Slides, you want to share it in a slide like this, import the video, and then just share it this way. That way they won't go to YouTube, keeps them right here. All right, so any questions on Google Slides right now before I go on to drawings and show you some other stuff? Nancy, I'm going to show you right now. How did you fix the dollar amount? So here's what I did. So I have a Google slide, right? I'm just going to leave this up here because it's funny. Hello. And what I did was I used Google Drawings. So on this one, I have it so the kids could move these, and it was just a fun thing. I just wanted to show you guys what a Google drawing was. It basically gives them manipulative. It's not a whiteboard. They can't draw on it, but you could give them something in this, and they can move it around. You could do that in Google Slides as well. The thing with Google Drawings that you can do is, let me give you an example. Let's say I want to give the kids an animal cell or a plant cell to label, right? But I want them to be able to manipulate it. I can't find one that I like. So I open this, label a cell. I search for plant cell. Hey, this one looks good. I'm going to copy the image and paste it into a drawing. Now, I want to get rid of where it's already labeled, correct? So what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to put some boxes over it. Now, and then I'm going to Control C, which is copy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm going to paste it. Control V. And I'm just going to drag them down here. Cover them up. Endoplasmic reticulum. All right. I'm going to leave the nucleolus. I'll just leave a couple that are already. Let's say I didn't go over that one, so I'll leave that one. I definitely went over this I went over. I'm going to pick this one over here, vacuole. All right, so you can see here, just to give an example. Now, what you'd say is, well, the kids can just go in here and they can just move those boxes, right? I mean, they're not stupid, they'll figure it out. But when you're using Google's drawing, you can create your own images. So you can see here, there's this little thing in the bottom. I'm going to drag that up to where I want my image to be. There we go. That's the size of my image. Now I'm going to go to File and Download as a JPEG image. You can also download it as a PDF if you want, but I usually use JPEGs because that is an image file. So I'm going to save it right in where I am, label a cell, and it keeps the same name as the original, label a cell, but it's now going to be a JPEG. I don't need to copy it or anything. Now I go back into my slide, and I'm going to go to Insert, Image from Drive. It should come up as recent because I just made it. It should. Yep, there it is. I'm going to insert it. Now I created my own image. Goodbye. There it is. I can now create something for the kids to manipulate. I can go into Insert. You could use text box. I really like word art because it doesn't it's easier to click and drag. Cell membrane, there it is. So I could put all the things I want them to label over here on the side, and they can literally just drag it and drop it. Does that make sense? I'm going to come back over here. Nancy, does that make sense? Okay. So again, Google Drawing, really cool. You can make manipulatives, whatever, share it with the kids the same way you would share anything else. But Google Drawing for me is probably a better tool that I use to create backgrounds. In 6th grade social studies, they were doing Babylon, and we took an image of the Hanging Gardens of Babylon. We found an image online. It was really simple, and we made a graphic organizer about it. So if you want to make pretty things and you have time, using Google Drawings is probably the best way to do that. So that's what I was going to show you here. And again, I could still move it, but I can't move these boxes out of the way. The kids can't move to the answers. All right. So X out of that. Let's see, that was Google Drawings. All right. Hopefully there. Okay. So the next thing I wanted to show you was, actually, you know what? I'm going to skip to Jamboard first. So Jamboard. If you haven't used Jamboard before, Jamboard is, it's a Google app. You go into your Google Drive, you go to New, Create, in the drop down, you hit More, and you get a Jamboard. Jamboards are, this is the whiteboard. So what you could do is you could create different manipulatives. Like I created this, I copied and pasted these screenshots, And then you can use Post-it notes. These are Post-its you can see over here. Post-its for information, stickies. I created a Jamboard. Here it is. Oh, they have class comments on it. I can only imagine these two. So you can see here, I'll bring up the Jamboard and you can see what it looks like, what I did. The kids were talking about insects. So I took an insect picture, I imported it there, and then I put these labels over on the side, and the kids dragged them to where they wanted it. So I'm going to open it with Jamboard so you can see what his looks like. And you can create new tiles. So this one has 2 tiles. I know the math teachers really like using Jamboard because it is a whiteboard, so you can draw right on it. All right. So here's his. The next page, I had the layers of the rainforest, which he got a couple right, but and I had these over on the side. I wrote them out, and all he had to do was drag them over. So that was something I did just as a practice. I think the best thing for Jamboards would be using math. So I did this one as an example. I gave the kids each a practice problem, or this is my practice problem. This is what it looks like when I write with my Chromebook. I have an old stylus that's literally just the tip of a pen that I use sometimes, but I'll be honest, the Chromebooks aren't made for really doing all the touchscreen. But so if I wanted to now, I'm going to do it with my, this is my stylus. Okay. So I have you can see it doesn't really work. I'd rather use my finger. Squared plus b squared equals c squared. And again, this is just another thing for you to use. You do it the same way. If you want kids to draw you a picture using their touchscreen Chromebook, if they don't have the touchscreen, they have to use their mouse. So it would be a little more frustrating, probably neater, right? But it takes me longer. If you're having them do math, I would just suggest you have them do it on paper and then just insert a photograph and send it to you via a Google Doc, something like that. That'd be easier for the kids. I mean, unless they want to try it, kids are crazy. So just to show you, that's what Jamboard is. If you have questions about it, you can let me know. All right. Finally, let's look at, I want to show you YouTube, and I wanted to show you EdPuzzle. So in YouTube is owned by Google, if you didn't know that. So it works pretty well with Google Classroom. The reason I have people use YouTube, even though it makes us nervous, we each have our own YouTube channel through our Homer account, if you didn't know that, because again, our Homer accounts are Google accounts. So we have a school YouTube account. So to do that, when you go in, you want to make sure you're in YouTube, you're logged in, which is going to be up here. You'll see your little icon. There I am right there. So I know it's in my school Google account. When I share things on this, I always share them as unlisted, which means no one can find them. You cannot search for them, anything like that, unless you have the direct link. Even if someone goes into my Homer Central account, they find my account and they subscribe or whatever, they can't see anything unless I share the link directly with them. So just to make people feel better about it. The other reason I suggest using YouTube, from a parent's point of view, streaming from YouTube is less data on my data plan because the YouTube uses a lot less than pulling it from Google Drive. Streaming from YouTube usually is a lot less glitchy, goes a lot easier, and my kids have YouTube apps on their tablets and stuff. So if there's something that they need to watch, I can just put it on there on their tablet, or we can put it on our smart TV, and we can watch the videos that the teachers are posting if they're posted through YouTube, which is really cool because we can all sit together as a family and we can see the teachers, and it's really fun. So I have this video. Where is it? There's this video Josh and I made when we were first learning. This is before everything happened. This is in my office. When we were first learning how to use Google Meet. Josh being so nice to me. Because we knew that something was coming and we had to keep practice. There you go. So there's my video. Right now, it's saved in my Google Drive. I could share that on Google Classroom, but if I wanted to put it on YouTube, I'm going to go on YouTube, and I have the dark theme on because I try and limit my brightness on my screen as much as possible. I can try to do that another time. Up here, you'll see create a video more. I'm going to click on it, and you'll see I have the option to upload a video. This is going to take me to studio.youtube.com, which is just my studio. That's right. You all have your own YouTube studio. I'm going to select the file I want. And I heard a chat come through. I'll go check it in a second. All right, here it is. I'm going to hit open. Now it's going to upload. I picked this one specifically because it's only 20 seconds long. So I'm going to give it a title. Practicing Meet. I give it a description. This is what noobs look like. All right, now the thumbnail. You can upload an image of what you want. Oh, I've already uploaded it. That's funny. So I guess I can walk through here, though. The thumbnail is you can upload an image of what you already want on there. Let's see. All right, delete video. Sorry. We'll try it again. I'll give a different one. I'll just grab a video off of Meet. I just want to show everyone how to make sure it's unlisted. I know that will give people some peace of mind to know how to do that. All right, here's Meet recordings. I have no idea what this is. We're just going to upload it. It's going to be a mystery. It's a small file. So I'm uploading the video. I click the file, uploading. I give it a title. I have no idea what this is. Should be interesting. All right, my thumbnail. It'll go through and kind of while it's uploading the video, it will pick like frames from the video, or what I usually do is for my thumbnail, I usually go in and pick an image of me, or if it's my Google, one of my Google trainings, like this one, I'm probably going to do like an image of Google Classroom. It could be any image you want. So I should pick this. I have no idea. It's going to be a mystery. Let's see what picture we can find. Oh, here we go. The high school staff playing kickball in 2016. Love it. Totally random. So now that's going to be the image that people see when they log in. There it is. You can put it on a playlist. I have some playlists made already. You don't have to, though. You can just have it in there. Is this video made for kids? Yep. There's no age restriction. And it doesn't mean that the audience necessarily should be children, but what it means is, can kids watch it? Is it offensive? It has to be made for kids if you're going to post it on your school channel. All right, so the video elements I'm not going to use, so I'm going to hit next. And finally, here's the kicker. I'm going to save it. Visibility, the last thing, I'm going to click on unlisted. So before you publish, do kids appear in this video? Looking good overall. Looks fine. I'm going to hit save. Now, while that's uploading and processing, here's my video link. When I close this, you'll see it now pops up. It says it's uploaded. Sometimes it takes a little while for things to process. And you'll see it here. It'll say like video still processing, needing 20% or whatever. But when I go in, I don't know if this one processed already. It looked like it was pretty short. We'll see what the mystery video is. It's probably still processing because I just uploaded it. While it's working, let me run over here. Some people had some questions. Oh, Jamboard is jamboard.google.com. Oh, hey, look, I made a video on how to present your screen. I didn't even know I had that. Maybe I should go back through and change those. Okay. All right. So Jamboard, if you're in Google Drive or anything like that, same way you would create anything else. New, go to more, and over here, Google Jamboard. It's right there. If you don't have that, you may have to add it, go into the Google Chrome store, but I think it was pushed through to everyone. So that's where Jamboard is. I'm going to leave that up so I can change it because I didn't know I had a video on how to make that. All right, so let's see. One of my kids took a picture of my big face during Junie B. Jones read aloud on their TV with the caption, "Mrs. Byrne must be famous because she's on my TV." Yep, that is the joy of doing this remote learning because now the kids, yeah, they have access to all that. So, yeah, sorry, Nancy. I bet you it's beautiful, though. I love it. All right, finally, I want to show you guys EdPuzzle. EdPuzzle. I know that people have used this at all in every building. If you're not familiar with it, I would definitely suggest checking it out because our district just purchased a district-wide pro subscription. So this will be one of the tools that I will be able to help you with. When you go to EdPuzzle, you can log in. I'm logged in right now. I used this before when I was teaching. So you can see here, I am connected to Homer Junior High School. Basically, what Jamboard is, it takes a video, and it could be from YouTube, it could be from Khan Academy, it can be from any place. They have them in here, searching content, and it allows you to put multiple choice or short answer questions, or even just notes at certain points in the video. The kids, let me show you one. The kids have to answer it. They cannot fast forward. You can lock it so they cannot fast forward what they're watching. They have to answer, and it grades them automatically. The other thing that's great, it automatically connects with Google Classroom. So right here, you can see I did the John Legend EdPuzzle for my kids. We watched it last night. It was about fixed mindset and growth mindset. They put it in, and all I had to do right here, you can see, Lucian did it, but for some reason it's saying not turning. He just has to resubmit it. They click the resubmit, and it automatically graded it for them. So when I'm in EdPuzzle, you can search within your own content. You can search for things that are already made. That's great. I found one about syllables, and I just want to show you this one. I found it, and I hit the edit button. Now, you could see down here, I added some questions. So as I was watching it, I can fast forward it. The kids cannot. So now I have it paused, and you can see there's a question. How many syllables are in the word water? They can rewatch it, or they can skip it. But I get a note on what questions they skipped, what they got on it, and if they didn't finish it. It tells me how far they've gone on it. Let's look through one of my old classes. So this is solving one-step equations. Oh, sorry, this is not the right spot. This is my content. So my class is up here on the right. And all I did was I hit add new class, and Google Classroom popped up, and then I just added the class. It was super easy. It linked right up to it. So this is my 15-1 math class. You can see right now, I used it a little bit last year when I was at the end of the year. You can see here, 6 out of 7 of my kids turned it in. And this one, 6 out of 8 turned it in, 6 out of 7. So if I click on one of these, this is when it was started. This is when it was due. You could see right here what the kids did, what their grade was on the questions. You could see if they turned it in or not. It also, I added my TA to it so we could see, play with it a little, and she could see it from the student side. You can add your own video, so you can create a video of yourself, add it. You can create a video of from YouTube, like from Khan, like I was saying. Let's see. Let's say I'm teaching a unit on the Earth's crust. So here are some things that are already pre-made. This one right here, I could see there's already 5 questions and notes. If I wanted to use that one, I can click on it, copy, and now it's copied to my content. So I'm going to go to my content. There it is. So I'm going to go into it, and I'm going to edit it now. You can cut the video. So if you have like a 20-minute video and you just want to show certain parts, you can cut it. You can do a voiceover. If there's a video of just like flying over Hawaii and you want to just kind of narrate it yourself, you can do that through this. The questions are right here. I can add more questions. I can see what the questions are already by clicking on them underneath. What is the outermost layer of the Earth? So then they would have to answer before moving on. Let's say I'm like, oh, I don't really like that one. I click the pencil down below. I can edit it. I can change it. And when I'm done, I hit finish. So, hold on, I just want to show you really quick. All right. Here we go. This will be a good one. Story elements. I'm going to click on this right here. Copy to my content. Go into my content. Oh, I'm going to assign it. Assign. I will choose my classroom. Remember, you can choose all of your classes at once. So you can have, if you have multiple periods, I'm going to have no due date. Prevent skipping. That means they cannot skip ahead. You want that to be checked. CCs is the closed captioning. That's up to you. If you have students with like maybe hearing stuff, hearing disabilities or hearing issues, you may want to turn that on. Here's the other one, post to Google Classroom. I'm going to do that. I am going to hit assign. Oh, of course, something went wrong. So it may be because it wasn't something I've practiced before, but the other ones that I'd added to my content and I went through and watched them all and everything, it posted to Google Classroom, no problem. The only issue I saw with it when it posted, it didn't go under a topic. So what I would have to do is go into the 3 dots, edit, and put it under materials or today or whatever I'd want to do. So that's EdPuzzle. I know I talked to some people at the elementary who were playing with it a little bit, and they were very interested. How did you get to EdPuzzle? I just Googled EdPuzzle. And then it brought me right there because I've already been logged into it, but it's edpuzzle.com. There are ways for you to do little trainings yourself. There's a teacher who went through and earned her level 1 EdPuzzle badge already. Yeah, so there are definitely ways to do it. Play with it a little bit, try and assign it to your classes. A lot of the kids I know in 8th grade, they use it pretty often. On my old team on 8B, they use it in science and math a lot. So kids at the higher levels would probably have access to it or at least know what it is and whatnot. Does anybody have any questions? I'm got about 5 minutes left. I've talked to you a lot. I'm going to take a drink of my coffee. Nancy, you better share that picture with me. I'm going to stop recording. All right. And just remember, I'm posting all of my